Okay, good morning, year one. Today we are looking at more fiction and non-fiction books to start off with. We're going to discuss the differences between the two, and then we're going to start a lesson today which delves into non-fiction books in a little bit more detail, okay? So, yesterday you were sorting out fiction books from non-fiction books, and you discovered that fiction books are made-up stories that come from someone's imagination. They often have unrealistic settings and characters who can speak even when they're animals and things. Whereas non-fiction books are books which teach us about real-life things, real-life information and things that happen, things that we can learn about that actually do exist in the world, okay? So, let's read this statement. Is it true or false? So we've got the Gruffalo here. Is the Gruffalo a non-fiction book? Is the Gruffalo an information book? Is it teaching us about things? No, we know it's not. It has characters. Number one, the Gruffalo isn't a real animal, is it? It's a creation so that an author, Julia Donaldson, has made in her mind. She's dreamt him up. He has all strange things like purple prickles on his back and a poisonous wart on the end of his nose. So we know that this isn't a non-fiction book. It's a fiction book. It's just a story. Okay, let's look at our next one. Okay, we have here, is this true or false? The Life Cycle of a Frog is a fiction book. Now, we know that's false as well. This is a non-fiction book because it's teaching us all about how a frog grows up, from frog spawn to tadpole to froglet to frog, just like we learned in the autumn term in science. So we know this is a non-fiction book, okay? Okay, what about this one? Trains. Well, you could have books about trains that are fiction books, stories, maybe Thomas the Tank Engine, that's a fictional story about a train. But this book about trains, I think, is a non-fiction book because it doesn't have illustrations, drawings on the cover. It actually has a real photograph of a train. And it doesn't have any strange title with any characters' names or any places they're going. It just has plain and simple trains. I think this is a book which teaches you all about trains, okay? Okay. Now, there is another way you can find out whether a book is fiction or non-fiction, and that is when you open the book up. Most non-fiction books will have a contents page, an area where you can go and find what you're looking for quickly in the book without having to read the whole book. As we said yesterday, in fiction books, you have to read the book in order, but in a non-fiction book, you can go in and look for whatever you're looking for. So that's what we're going to have a little look at now. And here is a contents page of one of the books we're going to look at, but I'm going to show you a couple of others as well. So, here's the first book. So if let me show you the cover. This is a book I found online, Beast Feasts. So I think this is a non-fiction book about animals, what they actually eat, teaching us about them. So let's check our contents page inside and see what sort of information it has. So we can see here there's different sections. So we have who eats what, we have herbivores, so plant eaters, we have carnivores, meat eaters, and we also have omnivores, animals which eat both plants and meat. So if I wanted to find out about carnivores, I would just open up the contents page. I wouldn't read through the whole book. I'd look and see, can I see any information about carnivores? Yes, I can see that starts on page 12. So I would go straight there. It would save me time. Here's another example of a non-fiction book. We have here Deep Down Weird. This is a book about strange sea creatures that live at the very, very bottom of the ocean. Very, very far down. Let's go to the contents page. We have lots of different things. So we could find out, if you want to find out about black devilfish, that sounds quite cool. Black devilfish is on page 5. If you want to find out about a Dumbo octopus, that can be found on page 14. You can find out about a Yeti crab on page 10. Lots of those animals have cool names. I know you'd quite enjoy that book, Noor. To see if we can get that one for school. Okay, so that's one. But I decided today, I'm in the quiz. I've had lots of footballers and things, and lots of boy things. Pokemon. The boys are really into Pokemon at the minute. I thought, do you know what? I need to keep you girls happy. I need to keep on your good side because I know what you're like. I know you can be moody with me. So, especially you, Phoebe. Only joking. So we're going to look at today that ballet book. So I'm going to go to the cover. Now this book, Ballet, isn't a book about a story about people who do ballet. It is an information book where these girls are telling us about ballet, teaching us about it. I don't know anything about it. I know lots of the boys in year one are experts, but I don't, so I'm going to read it now. I'm going to answer some questions about it, okay? So I'm going to go to the contents page of ballet, but it's nice and big here, so we'll go on this version. So as you can see, we have a little sections. We've got stretching, we have bending, we have jumping, we have skipping, and we've got a few people who want to ask us questions. So this woman here wants to ask us, I want to know where to read about stretching. Can you help me? So let's try and find out for this lady what page we find out about stretching on. Stretching, can anyone see stretching? I can see stretching, it's on page 4. And I can see the bending, the little section after, is starting on page 6. So I know stretching must be on page 4 and 5. And I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to check that in the book and see if stretching is on page 4 and 5. Yep, page 4, stretching. First we sit on the floor, we stretch out our legs. So that information is on both pages, okay? Let's do another one. Okay, this second lady. I want to find out about jumping. Can you help me? Can anyone see where the information about jumping is? See if you can point it out at home. Yes, jumping is on page 8 and the next section starts on 10, so it must be page 8 and 9. Okay, let's do another one. I think we've got one more question. I want to know about dancing around. Where can I find it? Dancing around. Can anyone see dancing around? I can see dancing in a line and, oh here, dancing around, page 14. You might even want to write page 14 and 15 because the next section starts after. Now let me go back to my book. Now there's something else in this book. So the contents page is at the beginning. I'm going to go to the very end of the book. There's something else here called an index, okay? And an index, let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger. This index is a section of the book where you can actually just search for exactly what you're looking for, and it's really handy because it's in alphabetical order. Remember, ABC order. You can search for if you're thinking, I want to learn about skipping. I know skip starts with an S, so I look for the S words, skip. I can find out about skipping on page 10, okay? Now let me explain your little tasks you've got today. So this is the easiest one. You only have to choose one. This is the easiest one. It's similar to the questions we've just been asking. Where is jumping? Jumping is on page 8. Try and answer your questions in full sentences. Then this is the middle one where most people are probably going to go for. A little look at big reptiles. So this is all about reptiles. Where can I find the biggest snake? Look in your contents page. You will find the big snake on page 12. Then this is the hardest one of all about mummies. Egyptian mummies, not all about your mummies. Mummies from Egypt, when people were wrapped in bandages before they were put into their tomb or the pyramid. Mummies from Egypt, there's different chapters. There's King Tutankhamun, that's quite an interesting one. There's the mummy makers, who made the mummy. What is a mummy if you don't know? But there's also something else as well as the contents page. There is something here called a glossary, okay? And a glossary is sort of like a dictionary. It's when you're reading a book and you come across a big, huge word and you don't know what it means in an information book. You can go to the back of the book, and lots of information books have a glossary, and it will tell you what the word means. So if I'm reading a sentence and it says, Egyptians were mummified in ancient times, and I'm like, I don't know what ancient means. I can go here. Now, ancient starts with an A. This is in alphabetical order, so I'm looking in the A words. There it is, ancient. Ancient means from a long time ago, from a time long ago in the past. If I didn't know what preserved means, I go down the alphabet. Preserved. Preserved means stopped from rotting away. So that's what your task is today, guys. It's sort of a comprehension task. You're reading. We're going to do a couple of things like this week. So you're reading, find the information, try and answer your questions in full sentences, okay? Best of luck with that. I'm sure you'll do a great job. Okay, see you later on.